From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, November 8th, 2015. Silver is trading at $14.77 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,090 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $385. AntiWar.com reports a bipartisan group of members of the U.S. House of Representatives have issued an open letter to Speaker Paul Ryan calling for a vote on an authorization for the use of military force against the Islamic State, citing deepening entanglement in the conflict by President Obama. Under the War Powers Act, the president must seek congressional approval for any overseas military operation within 60 days. The launching of a war against the Islamic State in the summer of 2014 put the vote in the middle of a midterm election, and most congressional leaders on both sides simply chose to ignore the law. Over a year later, the president made only one token effort to get an authorization for the use of military force through, and that died when the White House openly bragged that they made the wording so vague that it would allow them to do basically anything they wanted. Without an authorization, the war should have ended. Instead, it has escalated. The new letter partially draws attention to the recent White House announcement of ground troops being deployed to Syria, something previous authorizations for the use of military force attempts explicitly ruled out, saying this is a significant escalation of the war and proof that Congress needs to, at some point, vote on the matter. Though the authors of this letter are in opposition to the war against the Islamic State, some proponents of the war are also seeking an authorization for the use of military force, believing Congress should at the very least sign off on the matter and offer some guidelines on the scope of the war. FPP Radio News is brought to you by Bitcoin Not Bombs. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system and to fully capitalize on that decision in their fundraising efforts. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. UPI reports the U.S. Supreme Court announced on Friday that it will hear a challenge to the Affordable Care Act from religious nonprofit groups that oppose the contraceptive requirement. The High Court will address the question of whether religiously affiliated nonprofits can be exempt from the law's contraceptive requirement based on their religious beliefs. The newest challenge will be the fourth time the U.S. Supreme Court has heard a challenge to President Obama's signature legislation and the second challenging the contraceptive mandate. In 2014, the court ruled closely held for-profit companies, such as Hobby Lobby, could decline to cover contraceptives in employer-provided health plans. The justices granted review to 7 similar cases, including a challenge from the Little Sisters of the Poor, which is a Roman Catholic order of nuns that provides care to elderly poor. That group wants the same exemption given to churches. For over 35 years, Robertson Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and permanently removed the minimum purchase order for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 850-478-5270 or online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports 2 Louisiana police officers were arrested on Friday, charged with killing a 6-year-old boy and critically wounding his father during a car chase. The officers were attempting to serve an arrest warrant on the boy's father in the central Louisiana town of Marksville. During a Friday press conference announcing the arrest, Colonel Michael Edmondson, superintendent of the Louisiana State Police, said state police were still piecing together what led to Tuesday's shooting and had reviewed footage captured on the officers' body cameras. Edmondson said, "We took some of the body camera's footage. I'm not going to talk about it, but I will tell you this. It's the most disturbing thing I've ever seen, and I'll leave it at that." The officers, Lieutenant Derek Stafford and Officer Norris Greenhouse, are facing charges of second-degree murder and attempted murder. It is unclear if the officers have obtained attorneys or how they will plead to the charges. Local media reported 2 other officers were also under investigation in connection with the shooting. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.